Oh, we have to show everybody. And Sebastian, you can take it away.
All right. Thanks, Trace. Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. On the slide, we ended 2024 at over 28 million in group production. So thank that. That's all due in part to the hard work that you guys and gals do day in and day out. That was an additional 4 million on top of what we did from 2024. So we're going to try to match that again this year. We obviously would like to breach 30 million in group production, hopefully get closer to that 32, $33 million number in group production. Part of that was that we were able to add 8 new producing advisors to the team in 2025. Our goal, once again, would be to add another 8 to 10 producing advisors to the group this year. You can see here on the slide as well, we recently added a in-house W-2 rep, Rich McKee. He came over from Northwestern Mutual. Rich is on the call. He specifically is helping us on a lot of the stuff that we're doing on the insurance side of the business, but also on some of the in-house local succession plans that we have closing here this year and the next 3 years as well. So welcome, Rich. Also, Hunter Sugar joined the team. He's currently assisting Estrella on a lot of her day-to-days as well as studying for his life and health. And then the most recent hire was Diana Corrigan. Diana is eventually going to be Robin's full-time replacement, but we still have Robin for a few years. And so in those few years, Diana is just going to cover phones, usually on Mondays and Fridays. But, the days that Robin's not here in the office, we're going to now have Diana instead of Hunter or Estrella or Jody as the first line of defense on the phone. So if you hear Diana pick up the phone, that's not an error. She's a new employee at Premier, and I believe she's starting. Tracy, is it this week or next week? I can't even remember at this point.
I think it's this week, sometime
Okay.
this week. I don't know.
Yep. So I think the staff here at Premier so far has enjoyed her been here, and we think you will as well. So 2025, I mentioned, we've already have a few advisors that have joined us. Rich McKee, I mentioned. Benjamin Mursky is a Cetera advisor that joined an existing office in the group, an existing local office, Langen Group. And then also we have 2 advisors that have already signed an LOU, and I believe one is joining on Friday. I think the other is joining on Monday next week. That's Bob Monroe, who we have Christina to thank for. That's an old contact of Christina's over many, many years. And then also a gentleman named Anthony Alvarez. Ironically enough, both of those gentlemen are out of Missouri, where Christina is located. A few years ago when we brought Jody and Christina onto the team, we thought it might make sense that we probably should add some advisors out that way. Cambridge is based in Iowa. We do remote employees. We have a footprint out there. And so hopefully this is the start of us adding a little bit of a footprint out there in the Midwest. I know we beat you guys and gals over the head with this, but I'm going to do it on every single Premier call that we have because, quite honestly, over the history of Premier, the advisors in this group have been the number one way we've grown the branch. So we always like to mention that there's always a recruiting bonus available for you. 2% from Cambridge in year 1, 2% from Cambridge in year 2. That's on the advisor's production that they're bringing over with them, and then their production the first 12 months as a Cambridge advisor. And then we juice up for as well at Premier. So we're going to throw an extra 2% on top in year 1 and then an extra 1% in year 2. So as you can see there at the bottom, even a $200,000 producing rep, just for giving us a name and contact information can get you $14,000 in compensation. So a pretty good deal right there. Few things we needed to update. Number one would be, and this is a real pain in the rear end. We deal with this on the recruiting side of things all the time. Cambridge wants you to complete the referral reward form, which is actually just an electronic Dropbox submission that you can find on the website. We can always provide you with the link, but you do need to complete that in order to get the Cambridge portion of the money, not our portion of the money, but the Cambridge portion of the recruiting bonus. And then also just a reminder, if you're an advisor, this is kind of a little bit of an update too. If you're an advisor and you're recruiting a producing advisor to your office, we will pay you up front, but not on year 2, or I should say, not at the end of year 1. And we're only paying you on business that the advisor is bringing. We're not paying you on business that as the advisor at the existing office might be giving to that new advisor at your firm. We're only paying on business that is being brought over. So I just needed to clarify that here for the group. Tracy and I did a lot of what we call our new business reviews, which should start, I would imagine, next month or early March, for the folks that are interested in that. But one thing that came up on our business reviews was, a lot of our advisors indicated maybe they would like some help to find, a junior advisor or an associate advisor. And Premier's happy to do that. Now, the way that we do that is, we go to the home office. You, the advisor, will be in charge of setting the criteria for what you're looking for: age, CFP, licenses, 6, 7, location, however you want to set. Get a list run by the home office, and then we can essentially help you put a marketing campaign together to go after some of these, advisors that you want to recruit to your firm. So we'll help develop the postcards. We'll help develop emails. We're doing all this stuff anyways in-house with our recruiting efforts. So if we want to do a more targeted effort for specific advisors in your neck of the woods to bring onto your firm, we're happy to do that. There is a cost to this. Premier will help with some of the cost, but at the end of the day, the advisor that's looking to recruit the new associate advisor of the firm is also going to have to bear the brunt of some of that cost and also do some of the legwork as well. We encourage you to pick up the phone and call some of the people on that list directly and make time for that, because at the end of the day, they are going to be your employee. And it does mean a lot with that call coming from you. So if you want to talk more about that and how that process works, reach out to us offline and we can talk through that. This is something we're excited about. In the past, obviously, everybody in Premier branch has their own DBA, is running their own business. Recently, this past year, we've started to get, especially in our recruiting efforts, we've had a lot of individuals that have asked us, does Premier have the option to actually plug into their team? So not necessarily a W-2 model, which a lot of the industry is going to at this point, but more what we call a 1099 affiliate option. So you're still running your own business at the end of the day, but you're plugging into Premier for their marketing. So, you're going to get business cards from us. We'll do your email signature, your letterhead. You can appear on our website. Tracy has custom marketing pieces that she has, or I should say canned marketing pieces, but she'll also do customizable marketing pieces for you. On top of that, you get access to our IT firm, Appalachia Tech, who we've been working with for 25 years. And then we're encouraging all advisors to plug into our CRM and use Jump for AI note-taking, just because we know how easy that's made our lives. We encourage the advisors joining us as a 1099 affiliate to do the same. So like I said, obviously an option for new advisors joining the firm. We actually have a gentleman that joined us last year that's doing this right now. But if anybody in the firm has the interest in doing this and you essentially want to fold into the Premier brand and the Premier website and all that stuff, we're happy to do it. Check out the info on the slide. And once again, something we're happy to talk about offline as well. Tracy, I think this is back to you.
Yep. So advisor outreach this year, we're really trying to get you guys to connect more, connect with us, connect with each other. We're planning more peer-to-peer calls and more interactions so that you can do that. Something new we're doing for Premier Insider, which I think you're going to see the first one in February, is a monthly advisor spotlight, where we pick someone from the branch and we talk a little bit about what they believe, what they do, how their office runs, that kind of thing. In our calls with all of you, that's something that many of you are interested in, knowing what other people are doing, how they got into business, that kind of thing. So this is just a first step toward that. Again, continuing our business reviews, they've been really enlightening and just a nice conversation. We usually take the full hour, and they've gone really well. We also have advisory councils now that we're doing. We have an OSJ council. I think Sebastian has a couple things he has going on with some of you. We'd love to do more of those and get more people interested in doing those. So if you have any ideas about something like that that you'd think would be good for the branch, please let us know. We're happy to set anything up and see how it goes.
And I should mention just quickly on the peer-to-peer, monthly calls, we're trying to get away from the wholesaler, product push and all that type of stuff. So this year is going to be more focused on more technical financial planning, more business strategy, those type of calls. So that is the goal for this year. And we hope those calls are a little bit more worth your while. One thing to keep an eye on, we had a really well-attended and well-received call from Dunham who ran a call about charitable remainder trust and business installment sales last year. That was well received, well attended. You should see essentially a flyer from us that's essentially a Dunham Trust Masterclass series that they've come out with. We just have a lot of feedback from the group that they want to see more info about technical financing concepts. So we're taking that to heart. We're going to try to do more in that this year. Go ahead, Trace.
Advisor training camp. I think, Eric, are you on the call?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, yes. I'm going to let Eric talk a little bit. This is something we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we've been working with Eric on putting something together. And I think we finally have something to share with everybody. So go ahead, Eric.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. Good morning, everybody. Many of you might know me. I've been to the last three Hershey events, and I've been working with Tracy and Sebastian. I think we're in our third year, and I've also worked pretty closely with Jeff Tomasetti. So if you want kind of a testimonial, kind of understand what I do or how I do it, I think talking to Sebastian, talking to Tracy, and most certainly reaching out to Jeff Tomasetti and kind of understanding, what my engagement with those folks looks like, get an understanding of who I am and how I operate. I've been coaching or working, I don't necessarily like the word coaching or consulting with financial planners for the better part of 20 years. The practice, I try to really keep this thing. This is not a motivational kind of rah-rah sort of thing. It's not a touchy-feely life coach sort of thing. It's really kind of down into the nitty-gritty of what financial practices need to work effectively. And most of the clients that I work with have been around for a while, 20 plus years. They do a lot of things really well. But ultimately they've kind of found themselves stuck for a number of reasons, whether it's, they've kind of outgrown, their ability to serve their clients with the number of people they have on staff, or if they just need to systematize, their processes around client service, or even how they engage, from a money management perspective or what have you. So what I try to do, and what we're trying to do with this coaching session is really, help put something together that we'll move the needle. It's not coming in at 10,000 feet and just talking esoterically about ideas for practices. It's really kind of getting into the nitty gritty of running your practice. So the first thing that we'll do is.
Uh-oh. We lost Eric. Hmm.
You want to come back to this?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, do you want to plow through him real quick, or do you want to see if he gets back online?
Yeah, let's keep going, and if he comes back online,
Okay. I mean, you
Jody,
could
can you
also,
call him and let him know that he's frozen?
Yes, I will do that right now.
All right, thank you.
okay. So until we get Eric back online, we're going to move forward. So one of the things I've been doing is really working on some marketing stuff. And I've developed a lot of pieces that we're using in-house here, and there's no point in us keeping them in-house. If any of you would like to use anything that we have already built, we are happy to share those with you and let you use those. I've also done some custom pieces. Let me just show you guys some examples. So you can see this is the template that we have, Clarity Confidence Partnership. That's kind of a template I built for us to use in-house. But Bill Bowie actually reached out to me, and I was able to turn that into a piece that he could use. So you can see an example of that there. And then underneath, we are on our own but not alone piece. Um, again, build it in-house, but then Jim Williams was looking for a piece like that. So I was able to do that for him. And you can see I used his logo and his colors and kind of turned it into his own piece. So if any of you want to see what I have available and would like to turn them into your own, I'm happy to help you with that. I also had Jerry Rose reach out to me, and he wanted to do a QCD piece for his church bulletin. So this was kind of a fully custom piece that I did for him, he got it approved, and just to reach out to his church members to see if any of them were interested in setting up a qualified charitable distribution to the church. Any of these, if you want to look at them, if you want to talk about them, if there's something specific you want to do, I'm happy to talk to any of you about, what we're capable of doing here, and how we can help you. So give me a call if that's something you're interested in. I also wanted to let you know, I don't know if any of you, I'm sure some of you have looked at Market Central that's out on the Cambridge website. They have a lot of pieces out there that are free. They have pieces you can purchase. They also have, clothing you can purchase and tchotchkes and all kinds of stuff out there. But I don't know that everybody realizes that they do get a discount if they're in one of the clubs. So if you've qualified for a Circle of Excellence or Signature or Premier Club, Leaders Club, you do get a discount on the Market Central stuff that's sitting out there. I'd encourage you to take a look. They do have some cool stuff out there. A lot of freebies too. So take a look and see what they have available. And if you do want to purchase something, the codes are there that you can use. We're going to send the slideshow and everything out afterwards, so you can find them, but you can also let me know and I can let you know what the codes are.
And just going back to what Tracy said, she's doing a phenomenal job on that stuff. I would encourage anybody, if you don't have handouts, brochures, whatever, reach out to her. She can help. And honestly, we're leaning on you as well to help us kind of build out this suite of marketing materials, because sometimes you all have ideas that we haven't thought of yet. So it's helpful to have those types of conversations. The slide here is about Premier Client Events. So last year we started doing quarterly webinars. We're actually going to do 3 this year. Right now we have cybersecurity on the docket for February. We're also going to do an estate planning call. The third topic is to be determined. But we also want to open this up for you to participate if you want to invite your clients. I know we have to be careful on how we market it, and it gets a little bit tricky there. But if you do have interest, I'm sure we can figure out something, how we market it. Jody's pretty good with Levitate and how we get those invites out. So just let us know if you have interest. No problem to us to market this to your clients and just add another touch point for you and your firm. Josh, you want to take this one?
Yeah, thanks, Sebastian. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. So good morning, everybody. Just want to start off by saying thank you to those advisors that are working with me. I really appreciate it. Remember, I joined the firm in May of 2024. It's been great. We're really pleased with the growth we've had with not only the plans that we've brought on, but also the plans I'm working with you guys as well. So I just wanted to thank you for working with me, and hopefully more of you work with me in the future. But just a couple things, maybe why do retirement plans, right? So retirement plans is always like, oh, it's a headache, a lot of work, compensation is not as good as an individual client. Those are all kind of true, and that's one reason why you want to work with me. But it's really for the ancillary business, and we are personally starting to see that in our own the plans that we have, where employees in plans are reaching out to us with other financial needs. It's opening up, helping with prospecting, because those are warm prospects for us. Those employees that work at the companies that we're serving the employer-sponsored retirement plan for. So that's the why you do retirement plans. It's really to get access to the business owner, the highly compensated employees, and the employees as well. So that's the why. Bring me in for prospects. Just had one of our advisors in our group bring me in for a prospect. I'm helping them close the business. I used to do that as a wholesaler. I can do that. Now we're on the same team. So bring me in if you have a prospect. My favorite example is your dentist. Everybody should have their dentist's 401k plan. Bring me in and I'll help you close that plan. We can look at the plan, the investments, the fees, all that stuff, and I'm happy to do that. And that's what I really enjoy doing is just really analyzing their existing plan and poking holes in their plans. I did that as a wholesaler for years, and I can help you guys do that as well. So that's helping you guys with prospecting, and also your individual plans too. Any plans you have on the books, I can help you guys just clean them up. I've done those with a lot of advisors in the group already, where I just help you get the pricing in line, and then that just helps the plan be more sticky in your book of business. So happy to help you with that as well. call to action, just call to action for you guys. I put this in a couple of my quarterly emails, but just go out to CIR2.com and look under the retirement plans and then FI 360 and business intelligence, and just make sure that your 401k plans are showing up under there. I occasionally run. I have access to all the plans in our OSJ, and I sometimes run lists, and I just like to have oversight to see all the plans out there. And I might occasionally I reach out to advisors, say, hey, we might want to look at this plan. So if I know it exists, and trust me, I found where plans are not showing up on that business intelligence tool. It just helps me kind of help you, just have a quick glance at the plan. I look at the record keeper of the assets, and I could maybe just reach out to say, hey, we might want to look at this one. Lastly, is just some reminders for 2026. Remember that the new Roth catch-up, anybody that made more than $150,000 of W-2 wages in 2025, their catch-up contribution has to go into Roth 401k. So make sure you're talking to your clients about that, your individual clients and your employer-sponsored retirement plan clients. And then lastly, this was a change that happened last year, but just another reminder of that, what I call that super catch-up. So anybody ages 60 to 63, they can put $11,250 in their catch-up contribution. Again, you have to turn 60 this year, or from 60 to 63. If you turn 64, then you go back to the old catch-up. Don't ask me why they picked those ages. It's just our federal government coming up with some crazy ages, but take advantage of it. If your clients can put away some extra dollars on a pre-tax or Roth basis for those ages, and they have they can do that. Make sure they're taking advantage of that. But besides that, I again just want to start where I ended. Thank you again for working with me, and look forward to working with you this year.
I'll echo that. Thank you, everybody that's worked with Josh. And in fact, due to that, all the work he's gotten from the advisors in the group, there actually is a need for him to kind of build out his team. So we have a plan in place to have a new employee assisting Josh on a day-to-day basis come summer of this year. So he'll have more support. He'll be able to do more with you, and more to come on that.
Hey, Sebastian, this is Eric. Can you see me?
Yep, you're back.
You're back.
I'm on my phone now, so I don't know what it looks like from my end, but I can certainly do kind of a quick. I don't know where I went off the rails, but I probably spoke for 5 minutes by myself.
Yeah. If you want to just talk about the 6 sessions, like just a real brief overcap of what you're going to cover in the 6 sessions. And I have a little slide up on the screen that shows that, but
okay, I have the slide up myself. So
okay.
So we're gonna run a six program training camp. The initial program is gonna be we're gonna do this for 5 or 6 advisors. We're going to initiate a questionnaire or a survey and collect some information about the advisors that are going to participate. And the first session is really going to be digesting that questionnaire, understanding the practices that we're working with that are in the group, and kind of understanding what are the areas that we really want to focus on based upon the needs of the people that are participating. And certainly there are some things that are kind of universal in the coaching or looking at a practice. We're going to look at your CRM, we're going to look at your technology, and help talk through kind of how to implement workflows, make sure things are clean and data's clean and everything's clicking on the technology side the way it ought to. We're going to move into client service and all the things we've been told for years and years and years in terms of data segmentation and ranking clients, but we're really going to delve into how do we leverage that information and how do we really get into a level of client service that's white glove and gets into the needs of those clients and in a way that's highly ritualized and repeatable so that it's very scalable. We're going to move then also into attracting and marketing. We're going to look at business development. It could be acquisition. It could be kind of a grassroots business development, kind of shaking hands, kissing babies, and networking and building out your spheres of influence. We're going to work on the sales process. And then ultimately, through the group working together, and through 5 or 6 weeks, we're gonna put it all together and figure out what are the actionable items that each of the advisors who participate can take away. I don't want this to be this lofty engagement about like, hey, how do you motivate yourself to run a better practice? It's going to be very tangible things around technology, people, personnel, uh, business development and marketing. And hopefully the advisors can take one or two things away that will be substantive and can really help move the needle. Tracy, does that give a good assessment?
That gives a good one. And I would say it's not just Eric on this. He has some people behind him that are going to help him
Good point.
go
Yeah,
through
good.
this, some experts.
Yes, what I've done with my practices is I've come in kind of as a general contractor, and as I've expanded my business and wanted to deliver more to my clients, I've brought in particular experts around these areas. So I have somebody who's more specifically a sales coach. I have somebody that's very dialed into CRM and tech stack and integrations and how to leverage those things and set them up correctly and leverage reporting. And then I have someone who's very experienced in marketing, and particularly marketing financial planning practice, which, as we know, is different because of some of the complexities with broker dealers and compliance. And we've been working with Cambridge for many years with my practice. So we have people that know that system well as well.
So yeah, we're going to be rolling this out to everybody, and we want it to be a small group. We're going to get it started, I believe, in April. Yes, in April.
Yeah.
It'll run through September, once a month, virtual sessions. So more to come on that, but we're excited about it. We think it's going to be a great value add for the team. So
Yeah, Tracy
we
has
know.
some material. And if you need something, and again, I don't know what you guys heard, but I would reference Tracy and Sebastian and Jeff Tomasetti. They have some familiarity with me and how I operate. Sorry, Sebastian.
No, you're fine, Eric. Yeah, we know how beneficial, Eric and his team have been working with, how beneficial it's been to work with his team. We want that, to be an opportunity for those in the group that want to take advantage of it. We feel strongly about it, especially for, I talked earlier about bringing on junior associate advisors, especially for those folks. I mean, the way the pricing is going to shake out, we don't think, it's going to be split pricing again. Premier wants people to participate, but also wants you to have some skin in the game. So we don't think it's end pricing to you will probably be around $500 for the 6-month timetable sessions they're going to be going through. And as Tracy said, it's going to be a small group. So we're probably capping this around 5 or 6 individuals. Rich from our office is going to go through it, but we anticipate having, I would hope, at least another 4 or 5 individuals from the Premier group that want to take part of that. So yeah, as Tracy and Eric said, more to come. Reach out to us for more details. I want to touch on Spire for financial planning outsourcing. I probably didn't do a good enough job last year when we rolled this out of making sure that everybody was aware of it. But we see the advisors in the group that are doing financial plans, and we see how beneficial it can be for their business. We'd like to see more of that in the group. And we just know that, as you're running your business and handling your clients, there's not a lot of time, especially for solo practitioners on a day-to-day basis, to do full financial planning work. That's where Spire comes in. Premier does not have an in-house paraplanner. Eventually, we'd like to get to the point where we do have one of those. But until then, we want to lean on Spire, who, will do your actual financial planning work in the Click Advisor e-money system. So it's $950 to use Spire. They have preset checklists and processes that are in place that are easy to follow, and they handle all the grunt work on the back end. You're just responsible for presentation to the client. We've had a few advisors take advantage of this, but we'd like to see a lot more do it into next year. We just feel like financial planning is going to be such a big thing moving forward. I feel like, in-house and talking to advisors, we have more and more experiences with people that want someone to do they don't want people to manage their assets, but they want them to do a financial plan. So, let's find a way to actually make some money, do the financial plan, do it well, do it the right way, and use Spire to do that. So you'll see some info about Spire on our website. We're going to have a special call with them next month, I believe, to just kind of outline the process and how that all works with them. So once again, more to come on that.
And I would just say, like, all this stuff, the financial planning, using Josh for your retirement planning, the marketing stuff, we're trying to help you guys get stuff off your plate. You don't have to do everything. You should be outsourcing a lot of stuff, so you don't have to know everything. You don't have to do everything, and save yourself some time, and so that you can go out and do what you're good at, is sell and, meet more people and do more business. All right. So we are revamping the Premier Network site that we use for all of you. Jody, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's coming here? Because you're the one who's kind of steamrolling this thing.
Yes. So we created a new Premier Network website. Was that a year or so ago? And so we've decided to advance on it. So we're adding these 4 segments to it. And so one of the things that some of you are taking advantage of is the Premier Advisor Portal. So for example, the recording of this webinar is going to be uploaded to that portal. There's 2 sections of advisor resources. So there's a section that's available to the entire Google world, and then there's a section that's only available to our advisors. And so that's password protected. The password is Premier123 with a capital P. It's very top secret stuff, but it's stuff that's just available to you. And so Sebastian kicks a lot of things out there for you guys to use. So you need to know that it's there. That's there on the website that's there now, but also that's going to be retained to the new updates that we're doing. The Legacy Circle is kind of interesting. It's got it's the OGs of Premier is going to be located there. Premier Partners, I know on our current website, we've got a little taste of that on our current website now, but there's going to be more added to that with the revision of the new website. So it's coming soon. In fact, it's in beta testing right now. So I'm guessing in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be able to see it. And when that happens, we'll shoot out some information and let you know. Did I miss anything, Tracy?
Just advisor voices. So, some of the people on this call, some of the people in the branch have been gracious enough to kind of give us some testimonials and even some stories about how their move came about and how it went. And there's some really good stuff out there. So when the new website comes up, I really encourage you all to go out and look at it. The Legacy Circle, the partners, the testimonials, and especially that portal for all of you. I think it's going to be really helpful. So we encourage you to get out there and see what's there now, but stay tuned because what's coming is even better. And now Jody is also spearheading this. We're making some changes to the annual meeting that we're excited about. We've got an updated agenda and some things on the horizon. Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, so after the annual meeting last year, Hershey Hotel gave us some ideas of things that we could do differently. And so we really leaned into that, and we're going to mix it up a lot next year. So we've cranked out the same old grind the last couple of years. And so next year, or this coming year and this year, we've got some new things coming. So we're going to utilize some different areas of the Hershey Hotel. We're going to have some things out on the veranda. We're going to have some live band. That's going to be very cool. We've got some things going on with the football game. We're going to lean into that and have some fun. So there's going to be fun, and there's also going to be more peer-to-peer. So I know that you guys have been saying that you've wanted to do that. Our wholesalers and our sponsors have also been wanting that as well. And so we're going to do a lot more of that. Less big meeting, big conference kind of stuff, and more small taste things. So Wednesday also, it's going to start out on Wednesday as opposed to on Thursday when we used to do it. So we've got the The golf is still going to be happening, but we're also going to do some other things for those of you who don't want to golf. We've got some things planned that we're going to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to be checking out some information as we kind of get things squared away. I'll be sending out some information about those changes. You're going to get tired of hearing from me because with God as my witness, we are going to have a bigger turnout and more of you sign up to come this year. So we would like for you to not only bring yourself, but bring your entire staff. And bring the whole group, because we're going to have a lot of things for you to do and you're going to love it and you're going to get tired of hearing from me. So that's what's happening. Did I miss anything, Tracy?
No, I would just say that there was some talk last year about us doing some stuff down at the villas, but when we really got into that and talked to the people at Hershey about it, we decided that that was not a good fit for our group. So we are staying at the main hotel for the meeting, but there's going to be more breakouts and we're going to use the outdoors. Hopefully, please don't let it rain. But, so I just think we're trying to really balance fun with the peer-to-peer that you guys are asking for and make it very meaningful. So I agree with Jody. I hope that more of you sign up to come, bring your staff. We do cap the amount you have to spend. And some of you end up coming for free, depending on your club level and that kind of thing. So stay tuned. Something I wanted to talk about is so when you guys call and ask questions, we really would love it if you guys would start utilizing the whole team for questions. Our success, obviously, the future depends on the whole team here answering questions. We want you to get to know the people on the team. Sebastian is great and everybody loves to talk to Sebastian, but he's not a one-man band. And as I kind of start to step back in my leadership responsibilities here, he's going to have to step up, and that's going to make his time even more limited. And we want to be respectful of the fact that he is a family man with two little girls. So I don't want to see him, missing out on things with his family because he has so much on his plate here. So if you could please be respectful of Sebastian and make sure that he truly needs to be involved when you're calling, we would appreciate it. And this kind of brings that home. Not every question needs Sebastian. I'm so proud of the team that we've built here. They are amazing. They are responsive. They are conscientious. They want to help you guys. So please, please, please. I have items here that are team questions and they're not Sebastian questions. And then these are the things that, escalated issues. If you're asking for a true exception for something, if you want to talk about succession planning, payouts, recruiting, if there's things with WealthPort, advanced WealthPort questions, things about the platform or products or strategy, case design, that's Sebastian stuff. You can also always reach out to me. I'm always available as well. But for the bulk of questions, they really need to go to the people on our team. So please, please get to know all these people because they're amazing and you will not be steered wrong.
And I can add something there too, Tracy. Everybody on the call knows how much I like talking to you. I have a vested interest in everybody succeeding. But we're getting to the point where I feel dumb. I get questions and I honestly don't know the answers anymore. There's new rollouts from Cambridge like Firelight and Indy and all this stuff that I'm just not clued into. And I know sometimes calls are coming to me and I just honestly don't know the answer. So, you're better off starting with somebody else on the team. I'm going to tee up Jen and Christina here specifically. I mean, these two have done a phenomenal job the last couple years, taking a lot of the day-to-day operational compliance stuff for both mine and Tracy's plate. They're going to share some things with the group. But yeah, we just want you to get the best answer the quickest. And honestly, those two from a compliance and operational standpoint usually are more in tune with the, the updates and things going on at Cambridge than I am at this point. So as Tracy said, I want to talk to you. I want to do more high level stuff with everybody on the call. It's not saying you can't call me and talk to me. Obviously, most of you on the call have probably talked to me in the last week or two. Always happy to chat, but yeah, I want you to talk to Jen and Christine and the other members of the team because, they're dynamic and they can certainly help in these areas as well.
So Christina, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Okay.
So first, Happy New Year to everyone I haven't already talked to. I've already got to talk to quite a few of you already. So I just want to go over a couple things, and then Jen's going to go over stuff on the next slide. So I wanted to talk about something that we are rolling out that we have mentioned several times, but I want to make sure it's drilled into everyone. Enhanced supervision charge for delinquent trade reviews is active at month end. Last year, it was $100 no matter how many months you were delayed. Now, I want to reiterate, this is a compliance issue and this is a problem, and Cambridge starts hounding us about it when there are items that are outstanding for multiple months. And we're trying to keep you out of trouble, keep us out of trouble as your OSJ, and all of us focus on other items instead of this. So I'm going to reiterate again what it is. And I'm going to take the time today, and anyone who is on the list, I'm going to email you and let you know what you have outstanding and what your fee is going to be if you do not fix it by January 31st. Okay, I'm going to do that because I don't want any of you to pay this fee, but we have to get this under control. Most of you are phenomenal. You're great. You're on top of it, but there's enough that we have to enforce this. So I'm going to give you an example of what it's going to be. So at the end of the month, so January 31st, I look at all the outstanding items for whatever's outstanding for all the FPs. If you have an outstanding item, so this is for January 31st. For January 1st through January 31st, there is no fee. But now this is where the change kicks in. If it's December 1st through December 31st, any outstanding item from December, 1, 2, 50, whatever, it's a $100 fee. For November, any outstanding item for November, it'll be $200. So it's $100 added on each month. So then October 1st through October 30th, 31st is $300 and so on. Here's an example I'm going to give you. So then for August 1st through August 31st, it would be $500 for being delinquent that many months. It is a one-time charge, not 500, 400, 3. It's not compounded like that. So for example, if you have an outstanding item from August and you have an outstanding item from November, you will be charged the August fee of $500, not the 500 and also the 200. So I'm just trying to make sure we got to get these cleaned up. And please reach out to me if you need help with these. I know sometimes they're confusing. Most of these are trade warnings and not new account paperwork. Some of them are new account paperwork, so your accounts are not approved and you're not getting paid on them. So please reach out to me if you have any questions on this stuff. I'm going to share my screen real quick to show you something because I think this might be additional. I've showed it before, but I want to make sure that everyone understands this. So it looks like I can share my screen. So I want to show you something here. What you need to do when you get in trade review, it defaults to 180 days. Some of you have items that go past 180 days, so you need to change it to 360 days and hit go. And I put this under me, so I'm not showing anybody's information. Then it'll show everything down here. So just make it a habit anytime you log into trade review to default to the 360 days. Okay, and then this will help to make sure that you're not missing any outstanding items, especially trade warnings, because you're not always aware of the trade warnings. So I wanted to reiterate it again. Anything outstanding as of December 31st, from December 31st, essentially anything from 2025 outstanding, if you still have it outstanding. Now, if you're working on it and we're talking with me about it, we can discuss that. But please just keep these up to date and keep them up to date, because then they start going, you start letting them go, and the next thing you know, you have 20, 30 items, and then you're going to be spending hours to fix it. I also want to say one more thing on this, and I'm going to stop talking about it. Cambridge actually we had an FP who was behind on their stuff, and then Cambridge got involved, and Cambridge was like, it's $200 a week for each outstanding item. So definitely do not want Cambridge to get involved because they charge weekly. So please, please, please keep those up to date. So Tracy, you can share the PowerPoint again, so I'm done with that, and I can go on the other ones.
Okay. Let me do this. Hold on. I can figure it out. Here we go. All right.
Oh, need to go back to the slide before that.
Yep. There you go.
There we go. Okay. So kind of to piggyback on the slide from before, all compliance related issues, you guys should reach out to me. I stay on top of this stuff. I listen to the boring trainings. I do outside stuff. I'm always trying to, keep up to date with all the FINRA stuff. To Sebastian's point, he doesn't have time to keep all that stuff anymore. He's got everything else that he has to do. So any compliance related questions, please reach out to me. If I'm on vacation, Jen is my backup. If there's anything outstanding, I always let her and Tracy and Sebastian know. And just reach out to me. And also, if there is something that Sebastian needs to get involved with, he knows, he can tell you, Tracy and Sebastian, I reach out to them. If they need to get involved, I will get them involved. Jen and I both have really started building relationships with people at Cambridge. So we now have the capability to escalate certain items. We have the point of contacts, and her and I have really been taking ownership of this to try to help get your stuff resolved as quickly as possible when there is anything, if there is an escalation. So like I said, Jen is my backup, and then all op-related questions should go to Jen. She keeps up on all that stuff. She's in groups and peer groups with Cambridge, so she is your go-to person for any operations related questions. And then Jen's backups are Estrella and Hunter. The last thing I wanted to bring up, because for some reason at the end of each year, this becomes a hair on fire situation. FINRA CE is open now. This is what's in FinPro, the annual FINRA CE. I went in and knocked mine out last week because I don't like it either, but we all have to do it. Go in and just get it knocked out, and then you don't have to worry about it at the end of the year. So just wanted to make sure everyone knew your FINRA CE is already open. Go into FinPro and just knock it out. And that's it.
Thanks, Christina.
You're welcome.
Jen's going to take the Cambridge update and fill you all in on what's new.
Okay, let's talk technology. We're going to start with Indy. Indy is short for Independence. It's Cambridge's AI technology. It's like a chat box, so you can put in, you need paperwork for, let's just say, a Pershing traditional IRA, new one, you're journaling money. It'll shoot back and tell you what you need. Cambridge Resource Center is also still available, but we are in the process of training Indy to answer all those questions for you. There could be discrepancies in there. If you do find one, please use the feedback button. That's how you train AI. But take advantage of using Indy. Always remember to start a new chat when asking for new paperwork, because she will bounce off of your old chat and definitely give you a wrong answer. Let's move on to Firelight. Some of you may have used Firelight. It's for annuity submissions. You can go right in there. You can do your annuities right online. It generates all of your paperwork, send out your process to be signed by your client. When it comes back, when it is approved by us and by Cambridge, it will automatically send your paperwork to the annuity carriers. The only way to know if a carrier and or a product is participating is to actually go in, start the process. It'll give you the chance to choose what you're looking for. If it's not in there, you can't use Firelight. You're going to do it the old-fashioned way through Trade Review. Through Click Trade Review, upload your stuff, send it off yourself. Document supervision. That is where Firelight, you will go in there that's almost like a trade review for Firelight. You have it on your end. We also have it on ours. We'll communicate back and forth through there to you as to what's needed. You'll upload any paperwork that is missing or needs corrected right in document supervision. I encourage you to take a look at that. You will find that on your CIR2 homepage in the apps menu, or you will also find that if you go into Click Workstation, there is a a section in there for it. And it also has your alerts in there if you're alerted for your paperwork to make corrections. iCapital/AI Insight is like Firelight, but it's for alternative investments. Currently, you do need to be granted access to the site. I was hoping Cambridge would get back to me before this meeting with more information on it. I do not believe it is up and running fully at this point. I can send more information out when they get back to me. Moving on to Click Workstation. There is no formal release date. However, you do have access to it. You can find it in your menu in Click, and you can also, from Cambridge's homepage, there is a little module that says Click Workstation. You can click on it there. It eventually will take over Click, or the main page of Cambridge. Right now, there is no formal release date for that. Moving on to Knowledge Center update. That is where you will now find all of your trainings for Cambridge. FINRA CEs are still accessed through FinPro. The Knowledge Center, when you go into it, there's two screens. It'll say Classic and New. You're going to click on New. It does give you a page right in front of you that will tell you if you have trainings that are due for Cambridge. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, Next, Later. I encourage you to, if you want to know where Cambridge is going with all of their technology, on the CIR2 website, search Now, Next, Later. It's a little graph box that shows you what has been released, where they're at right now, and where they plan to go. With all of that being said, Cambridge is pushing all new technology to bring the firm up to date. So on February 19th at 10 a.m., for a more in-depth presentation of technology, Quentin Dodson from the product management team at CIR will be presenting. We did send out last week an invite for the webinar, so let us know if you didn't receive it, and please contact me with any kind of questions that you have for technology. And also, if you do have some technology you'd like Cambridge to look into, or things that you notice that you would like see changed on Click Workstation, Click whatsoever, send those to me, because like Christina said, I am on some committees out there. I can present those, have them look into that, make your life a little easier. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen.
And to piggyback off Jen's last point, we just had a conversation with another advisor in the group that expressed some interest in serving on one of the councils at CIR. So they do have different councils: technology councils, financial planning councils, CAP, asset management councils, those type of things. So if you have an interest in serving on any of those councils, let us know. Tracy will tell you we can throw our weight around with our size and our tenure. And pull some strings to get you on one of those councils if you feel like your voice needs to be heard. So just let us know about that. Industry updates. I know we only got a few minutes left. So obviously every article you get in your inbox anymore is about AI or the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Everybody on the call knows those are two things that they need to focus on. Number one, from just running their business. Number two, from financial planning perspective. I'm going to move into the Growth Act. Pretty interesting development. The Growth Act, if it gets passed, is actually, the plan would be that would defer capital gains distributions on mutual funds, where you would not have to pay taxes. You would not get, your clients would not get 1099s year in and year out. They would only get those when they went and sold the mutual funds. So that could be a big game changer for the industry. Obviously, essentially put mutual funds on par with ETF counterparts. So we'll be, staying in tune with what's going on there. The Invest Act, not as big a deal in my opinion. That's probably more focused for like startups, IPOs, cutting red tape on small business in America. But there is some things in there. Creates a senior protection task force. They now allow for, which Josh can talk more about this. They now allow for CITs and 403Bs. So like I said, not as big of a deal, but it is something that's out there. 24-hour trading is something that I'm not looking forward to if it's actually gets put in place. Everybody knows that crypto is trading 24/7 around the clock. There is push for, the actual, like NASDAQ, I think, has a proposal out there to go live in late 2026 to do 24-hour trading, which is, in my opinion, not a good idea, but something that the group should keep an eye on. And then obviously there's always updates out of DC. So, make sure you're staying in tune. Trump's released some stuff recently, specifically around real estate, whether it's 50-year mortgages, early distributions from qualified plans, 529s for home purchases. banning institutions from buying single family homes, those type of things. But then you also have midterms, tariffs, you have Venezuela, and then obviously the Fed chair. And what happens there is probably going to be a big story for us in the markets in 2026. So, and lastly, one thing that should make everybody happy, we're hoping that this is the year that you can get your entity paid. You know, everybody on the call obviously is getting paid as an individual right now. And for years, we've heard this would be much easier if you could pay my entity, the business, instead. We're really hoping that this is the year that changes in the industry. But we'll keep you posted on that. And then next, and I think last slide, just areas of focus. You know, we talked about AI, tech stack integration. We want to get our technology talking to each other better so we can kind of consult with you on how to do that in your practice as well. You know, we are coming out with a preferred tech stack option, which we'll probably release sometime in Q1 that you can take a look at. Succession planning is always a focus, but Tracy and I, each and every one of you are going to hear from Tracy and I. You know, even if you have one on file with us, we're going to just reach out to you, talk through it. It's a big push of ours to get more organized in that space, see what your thoughts are and where your head's at with your own succession plan, or if you're an interested buyer, where your head's at on that. We mentioned peer-to-peer interaction. We want to do more of that in 2026. Horizon OCIO is something that we'll probably once again have a dedicated call for. So some of you are right now plugging into the Premier investment models. We're going to partner with Horizon. Right now, Kevin Hughes down in Philly is working with them. What Horizon basically acts as is you're just outsourced chief investment officer. So we'll send our model to them. They'll give us their recommendations. They also have a dedicated landing page, login page, where they'll have commentary, fact sheets, due diligence reports, all that stuff. So if anybody was to ever show up at your office, you can essentially, you know, plug into this website and hand them all these materials to show the due diligence that was done in your investment management. So anybody that's doing rep-directed business, keep an eye out. There's more to come on that with some firm level models there. Acquisitions, just a reminder, you know, our acquisition of Bob's remaining shares will be complete this year. That should free up Premier to do some things that we haven't been able to do in the past. And then I've talked to many of you. Premier is actively engaged in trying to acquire a tax practice as well. So a lot of the advisors in the group also have tax practices. And some of those individuals are looking to sell in the near future. So Premier wants to have an option to handle those tax clients when either we buy it in-house or you, the advisors in our group, buy it and don't have the tax practice in-house. We want to be able to step in and help there as well. And then finally, I talked earlier about wanting to do more financial planning and engaging Spire to do that. We also want to see the group do more insurance. We don't benefit a whole lot on fixed insurance business, but we want to see you do it because it, you know, better takes care of your client, puts more money in your pocket. I know it's a huge pain in the rear end. You know, it's just not as easy as, you know, bringing a client on, doing the AUM model, charging a fee for managing the assets. But, you know, we have connections with, you know, we obviously the large MGAs we've worked with for years, Ash, Crump, Cambridge just added another preferred MGA, Simplicity. But then we also have local relationships that give you a more intimate boutique feel. So if you ever have the need for an introduction to one of those firms, simply let us know and we can provide that. But yeah, with that, I think that's pretty much it. I'll turn it back over to Tracy. Thank you again for another great year last year. And, you know, just looking forward to working with all of you again this year in 2026.
And I would just add, thank you all. And just know if you have any questions or you need help with anything, call us and we'll guide you to the person that can help you the best. And we wish you all a happy week, happy year. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, wait, Tracy, one more thing.
Yes.
Be on the lookout, everybody. I'm not going to get into specifics right now, but unfortunately,
yes.
Premier has an advisor whose young daughter has been given a cancer diagnosis. Very heartbreaking news. And we at Premier are hoping, you know, we're going to do something here at Premier, but we're going to extend the opportunity to the group to help support this guy and his family and his young daughter. Really tough situation, but, you know, we'll provide more details, and we're hoping that the group can come through and provide for this family. You know, very, very sad situation. More to come on that.
Yeah, please stay tuned for that. And with that, wishing you all a good week. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.